You know, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in entertainment, media, sports, entrepreneurship, and so much more. Nick Durst here, along with Joe Calabrese. And Joe, I would say our guest today, he might be a tea connoisseur, like the reality version, but why don't you let everybody know who we have with us today?
That was a really slow intro, but it was a good one. I liked it. But yeah, absolutely. He's about to spill the tea on our show. He's a comedian, he's a writer, and a media host. He's podcast host, co-hosts Not Another True Crime podcast, and he hosts virtual reality for Page Six. We're very happy to have him on. It's incredibly funny. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We welcome Danny Murphy to the show. Danny, I love that name. It's my father's name. How you doing?
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'm happy to unpack that with like Freud or anything you need. How that goes through. Yeah, but it's so nice to be here. Thank you guys for having me. I also was so shocked at first when y'all reached out because I saw that it was like because you guys cover everything but sports as the main focus, and I was like, I don't think they know. They might have gotten their emails mixed up because I know there was a Mets player named Daniel Murphy. So I was like, they reached out to the wrong guy. But I'm glad to hear you know who I am.
We've had plenty of entertainment people on.
I've seen
celebrities, bachelors.
Yes, you guys cover
perfect
everything.
Guest for us.
Yes, we do. We do entertainment. Had a lot of comedians, a lot of music.
Just like Danny's employer,
TV.
your host, we do everything. We do sports and entertainment and media. So there
a little touch of it all. You know, it's perfect. I'm excited to be chatting with you guys.
We wear many different hats. You wear many different hats. But let's start with the fact that you grew up in the great state of New Jersey. I love New Jersey. You attended Cranford High School. Talk about what it was like growing up. And as a bonus question, Jersey's known for its diners, so is there any particular spot that you grew up loving?
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, very much a diner culture, which I feel I have to give it out to the Rustic Mill in Cranford. I have not been back there in a minute, so I hope it is still standing strong with great mozzarella sticks and French fries. But I love it there, and that is a place because I did theater growing up, so we would go there after shows on like a Friday night, which I always miss. I feel like kids, and now it's like my birthday is this week, so I guess I am getting older, but I feel like I was about to get older being like, kids these days, I hope they can still have a beautiful like Friday night out with like $15 because that's how it used to be. And it was so fun. I feel that is no longer the case with inflation and everything. And now like 8-year-olds go to Sephora. So very different energy. But no, I loved growing up in Jersey. It was really fun in Cranford because it's like a Jersey suburb, but close enough to the city. So kind of from a young age, I always knew I wanted to get like a little bit closer to New York and where like media and entertainment and everything was. So it was nice that I feel like felt a little bit more attainable to do than some of my friends. I mean, who they did it, but like moved here from more of like the Midwest or the South or something like that. I feel like I like that it was a little bit a stone's throw away.
I also have to ask, this is the Nick scene. It's more of my scene. Of all the towns down the Jersey Shore, which one is your favorite?
Let's get into it. Okay. I feel because it's such a thing where I loved the Jersey Shore, the show, but people, oh my God, so good. But people kind of, if they don't spend time there, they think that's all there is. And I'm not saying that it's like, oh, it's some classy place. There are nice places. No, you can still have a mess and be fun, but just not in Seaside. Because that's really more south than I ever went. I love my family now is in Long Branch. So I love Long Branch and I love Asbury Park because for people who like enjoy like a little like some city restaurants and stuff like that, there's great food there, really good vibes, so easy to get to on NJ Transit. So I love kind of like Asbury Park and Point Pleasant. I feel are the two that I love. What about you?
Well, I'm a Belmar boy. My mom was a Manasquan girl, but I'm a Belmar boy. But I will say that I love everywhere down the shore. I love Asbury Park. I love Porta. I love going to the Wonder Bar. I love the beaches over there. But it depends on what your scene is, right?
Yes.
I'm a little bit of a party kid, so I like Belmar, but I really love Point Pleasant. I love the boardwalk. I love Jenks. Like my heart truly, like as a family guy, I love going to Point Pleasant when I was younger. But as I gotten
Yes.
older, I'm a Belmar boy. You know.
Oh, that's fair. I'm like a grandma. I can't party as much. My stamina has gone down, but Belmar is a lot of fun. I went to a surf camp in middle school in Belmar,
Wow.
sprained my neck. So that's how athletic I am. Did not do well, but I do like Belmar besides that.
Yeah, I like going to Seabright. It's an easy drive. It's
Okay.
Yeah, it
tippy
is.
top of the shore, so I like that. Parking's relatively easy. I don't like
Donovan's. I love Donovan's. Donovan is great.
Donovan's is great. DJs, I mean, I'm sure if I don't know how much you part because DJs was always a
Joe's
vibe.
there
And
all the time, every Sunday.
I'm there all the time. I'm gonna be there every Sunday this summer.
and what's the place with the columns? The mat
And it's called Columns. You got
Columns,
it.
yes. I love, and it's so fun too, because that's such a good vibe where it always changes as like from day to night. Cause it's a really good, I mean, if any person is listening to this and maybe they're looking for another shot at love, a lot of divorcees, I feel like hang out there. That's just what I've noticed. Infer with that if you will. But also there's like some younger crowds and everything like that too. It's a lot of fun. Cause I never know with Staten Island if you guys go down the Jersey Shore or if you like Rockaways it.
Yeah,
I think we
more
go
so-
down to Jersey a
more
little
Jersey
more
Shore.
so than
It's so much
yeah.
easier. Yeah.
Some
is.
people bougie got to the Hamptons, but I mean, that's
Oh.
a horrific drive.
It's terrible.
So horrific, and you're sitting in traffic. There's barely a beach because I don't get why people. I mean, I can't afford it first, so that's why I don't go to the Hamptons that much. But when you get out there, there's no cell service.
Yeah,
There's like trees and bushes, which is like cool but not really beachy, and like everything's $85, which is insanity.
very pricey, very pricey. So for you, you said you wanted to get to Manhattan, you want to make the
Yes.
move, get into the city life. So you ultimately go to Fordham University. Big shift, culture change, I would think, from Cranford to up there in Fordham. So what was going into Fordham? What was your goals to
Yeah.
career wise, and how did you go about that? Whether it's activities like the radio station or internships, what did you do at college to get yourself primed and ready for your post college career?
For sure. It's so funny because like the Bronx, of course, being very different from a suburb in New Jersey, but every person who goes to Fordham is from a suburb of somewhere in the tri-state area, which like I didn't realize at first because I thought I was kind of like I was like, I was gonna be all like city kids, everything like that. I'm like, oh no, everyone's from just like a town that's like my town.
Yeah.
But it was fun because then you got to know people, like you're able to like have really good friendships with majority of people, either like they're from around here, so we be in town a lot, or they wanted to just like stay put in the city. So they came from far away and they're like, I'm going to school in the city to like stay in the city after that. So it was definitely a shock, just like an adjustment going to college, just like going it on your own and everything like that. It's funny. I felt like the first few weeks maybe felt like a little bit like, what am I doing? I have to share a bathroom. I have
Ugh.
to share a room.
That's why I didn't go to weddings. I know Joe dormed. I stayed home.
You made the correct call because sharing, and also it's like, of course, it's broken up by like the boys' floor and the girls' floor.
Yeah.
The boys were fucking disgusting. Even I'm like, shower shoes weren't enough. I literally should have bathed in a hazmat suit. It was so rough, but it made me feel very clean. I keep my apartment so clean now. I don't know if it's trauma from that or not, but Fordham was great because I wanted to go to a school that gave me proximity to the city, but still had that kind of campus vibe, which like the Bronx campus had, which was really nice. And they had a lot of opportunities. Like I did WFUV there, which is like the public radio station affiliated with Fordham. So it wasn't just like there was like adults working there, which is kind of crazy, where I know some of my friends who went to different schools and worked at the radio station. It was a bunch, which I kind of cool in its own way. It was a bunch of like 20-year-olds building everything out, which I feel like I kind of am like, oh, that's like so fun. And like you could like take more risks, which I feel would have been really cool. But this was like you would show up and it'd be like a 35-year-old being like, write this news anchor cast and has to be like AP approved and everything. And I'm like, these are such boring words, but it's what the workforce kind of requires. So I'm very grateful for that aspect of it.
So how difficult was it getting your first job out of college?
It was because I was one of those people. I had my Belmar days when I was in college, so I loved to party a lot in college. It was very, very fun. I feel like it was a lot of a lot of vodka crans and Red Bulling through all of that. But I really, what my main thing that I was never like, I wasn't a student who loved school really. Like I went to college kind of like, I just want to work, which I'm kind of now every month I pay my student loans. I'm like, really great that I did that. But I had an internship every semester really went out of my way to build up to have as many opportunities as I could. So I was able to get a job right the same week I was graduating, which I'm very grateful for because I was like, I really wanted to move with my friends to Brooklyn right away, have all this stuff. And I was like, I obviously need a job to do that. And then I was kind of like, okay, I really, really hope I can make it work. And I got a job as like a full-time contract at Hearst Digital Media doing like social video producing for Facebook Lives when that was a thing. One of those things where I was like, I don't even know what this job entails, but I know they're offering to pay me. So I'm going to run to it. So I'm really grateful that I was able to kind of jump right into the workforce. Well, it's one of those things. I'm grateful now because I loved to work and to have all the opportunities. My friends who had the summers, like while waiting for a job, I'm like, oh, that probably was a little bit nicer, but that's what I did.
And you were also freelance writing as well, correct?
Yeah. So
Uh,
I kind of any place where I feel like now it's like there's maybe like some less places, which is probably for the best because like I know there's like less internships because now they're all paid. I was just freelance writing mainly for free all throughout college and everything. If they would like send me like $50, I'd be like, this is heaven. Because again, college, there's I wasn't going out in the Lower East Side or anything. I was going out on Arthur Avenue. So like the $50 lasted me a good chunk of time. So I was just kind of always trying to get my name out there and everything because I kind of realized with like things turning more digital that I'm like, okay, it's smart to have a lot of your hat in a lot of different rings, not just for the joy of it, but also you guys obviously know it's kind of like for the pivotability of it, where it's like there could be 3 years where everyone's doing like online writing, but now it's like, oh, now you need to video edit it. And you're like, okay, well, how the fuck do I do that? So just trying to learn everything at once.
Yeah, you have to be able to do everything. That's the way it is now. And
Uh-huh.
all
With
these
a smile on your
companies
face.
that were like, the head honchos with the newspapers and magazines, if they didn't adapt, they're out of business or they're on the verge of going out of business.
Truly, it's such an interesting, and by interesting, I mean like insane and bleak and curious time for media. I'm sure you guys know too. It's just like my friends at different companies and just kind of the status of everything, just trying to see where things are going to pivot to and evolve to.
Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. But I mean, had to be cool working with Hearst Media at the time for you, which was big magazine, and you did the stuff with Netflix, which even at that time was still cutting edge
Yeah.
forefront. So how was it like doing stuff for those two companies?
What I loved working with Hearst is because it was kind of because I was working and it was so much fun. I was working at this product site, which like doesn't sound fun on paper, but it was just a very cool group of people that worked there. And it was kind of Hearst's foray into like learning what e-commerce is. And because it wasn't like one of their like notable brands that people like their Esquire or Cosmo or something, where if they were doing something weird or risky, more people would be like, that's so not on their brand. But for best products, since it wasn't totally an established brand of that level, they were kind of like, I feel I got to take more risks and have more opportunities where I'm like, oh, I want to interview this person. They're like, okay, I don't care. Like they were just like, yeah, sure. Why not? So it's a big like test out option. And what I always, whenever someone in like college or anything like that will ask me like advice I might have for people like getting into fields, I liked working at a big media company because it was a place where you could be that annoying person because you had everybody's directory email and you were on their floors and everything like that. So when I was there, I was emailing and slacking and G-chatting people who worked at like Marie Claire and Men's Health, and people would be like, hey, I have this idea for an article. Can I pitch it? Can I do something with you guys? And like people were receptive to it, which was great. Like not all the time, but like I got enough from it that I was able to build a little bit more of some clips and stuff for myself that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was at a company that was just kind of like an independent one structure thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. So you're getting your voice out there, you make a name for yourself in the newspapers, just like the TV show Bold Type, that the very realistic show about her from Hearst Media. But then you're like, let's try this radio thing. So you actually with SiriusXM, which recently has laid off pretty much everybody, and they screwed me over big time with something as well. But
okay, I that's like their thing. I think it's their kink.
So
They
I'll tell you this story.
yes.
I didn't tell my audience this yet, but
Oh my God.
last year I was interviewing with them. I went through 7 rounds of interviews with 7 people, and I
Oh
had to
my
do an
God.
unpaid project.
Of course.
I got offered the job, and then I said, well, just, give me something in writing here because I can't read my other thing until I have this proof. And like I want to negotiate the contract.
Yeah.
Nobody talking to me for 2 weeks. And then eventually after 3 weeks, they call me Monday, 4:55 p.m. Hey, we need to rescind the offer. We don't have the funding anymore. Well, why'd you
Shut
waste my time? We wasted
the
my time.
7 weeks and then or 7 rounds, which is probably
Yeah.
over a few weeks.
7 hours for like two months.
And then thank God. I'm really glad though that you were smart enough to like wait for something in paper. Cause do you
Yeah.
know how many people would just be like, well, that's my new job. You know what I'm saying? But it's like,
Yeah. That's something like that happened to me once before in
oh,
2016. So I learned my lesson
okay.
where I was actually I got a job offer from Inside Edition,
Okay.
notorious news show, whatever.
Yeah.
Not exactly my cup of tea. I don't like doing that news stuff. I like the entertainment and sports more. And then I got into and then I got so I was gonna start that job like on a Monday, and then uh Sports Illustrated told me like on Thursday, oh, we're gonna have you come in here. And then ultimately I said to Inside Edition, I have this opportunity. I'm not going to take the job. And then Sports Illustrated said to me, oh, we're not going to be able to hire anybody right now, which was BS because I knew someone else they hired for the team. So
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's
that was all due to a really shady guy who was running the team who
yeah.
ultimately ended up getting fired there. But
Good. And
that's media business for you.
it's so funny too, because the media business also is so much smaller than people let on, where people think they can get away with stuff like that too, where you're like, A, I can go on LinkedIn to see the job that you were posting, who has that title now. And B, it's
Right.
like you have like, especially when you get more into niche things where it's like sports media is even smaller than just media, where you
Right.
could find out who was doing stuff. And the unpaid projects, it's like the
Oh, the
worst part.
worst.
The amount of like edit tests I've done that don't see the light of day, or like I don't get a reply to or anything like that, or I used to try to get work, and then just everything like that. It's hell.
Yeah,
Bureaucratic bullshit.
Yes.
It
the-
is.
my
It is.
my wife and I always joke about like anytime when anyone's get like sent like, all right, we do this unpaid project. I'm like, that's it, not getting the job. Forget
No,
it. They just steal your ideas and then they move on with it, or they
that's the
prolong the
thing.
process.
And then you're like, okay, if you don't have the budget to pay me now, what's my salary going to be? What am I cooking with here? Yeah.
Yeah. And you're not getting anything out of it. So it's just
No.
nonsense. But uh makes me so mad. But anyway, back to those SOBs at SiriusXM. Uh
Well, it makes me, I never worked full time there because I was
right.
at, I,
Nobody
which
That's
ever
where
does.
that's where you got your
No,
first on-air
nobody ever
experience.
does.
I
That's where
think
you
I
got your
made as much money as half the people who were employed there then, if I was working for free.
right. But you got your first on-air shot there, right? With Sirius.
Which
That's
I like, it truly, I always say, and I still talk to because they still have the show, the Bennington show, which like truly was life changing. It was like Ron Bennington, his daughter Gail, and the producer Chris there. Actually, one of their producers who I love too now is doing a podcast with the Mets, who's super fun, Vito. But I was interning their senior year, and they never really like. It was one of those where it was funny because it was right when Radio Andy was starting out, and I've like always loved reality TV and entertainment, so I was really like, oh my God, I really want to intern there. I want to intern there. I feel that'd be so fun. Blah, 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 blah. And then they were like, no internships there, but would you be interested in this like comedy show, Bennington? And it was on, I think it was on Raw Dog Comedy Channel. And I was like, I'm like this like high pitched gay boy going to Raw Dog. I was like, I was like, the jokes I was telling myself, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm like, I don't know if we'll vibe and mesh, but I was so happy to be so proven wrong because they were just so nice and so supportive. Like, I would be like to the producers and the host, like, oh, like I have this funny idea. They're like, go do it, or like,
yeah.
come see how you do. And if like you kind of, it was one of those things where they were like, we want you to succeed. So they kept on letting me do segments that really were funny in my lane of stuff too. And they were able to like, they would have these like big or semi big comedians come in and let me in to like riff with them and stuff. And it was when I really got such a hands-on experience in the hosting world and made me realize like, oh, this is like a job people do that's really fun and it's exciting and it's what I like to do. So I was like so grateful for that. I tried to work there after college. I mean, obviously it didn't work out, but I was like, I wanted
Worked
to
out
just
for the better.
for the better. Yeah. Because then also when I was working at Hearst, Gail, the co-host of the show, reached out and they were like, we want to do like this like entertainment news hour every week and we'd love you to host it. Would you want to come do it to get some more experience? And I was like, this is perfect. I would love to.
Yeah, worked out for you. And then
Just like,
how did you then take that experience and then ultimately get the job with Betches Media doing the not another true crime podcast? At that time, when true crime was taking off, you had what is it, Making a Murderer on Netflix was huge. So that was, and everything was like, this is everyone's got to do true crime. So
it was insane.
were you always an interest in that drama there, or did you just kind of find yourself in that role? What was that process like?
It was one of those things I never was like immediately jumping to the true crime documentaries that made a lot of rounds. I was more so always interested in like the scams and the cons and kind of like the more insane stories you see on like more like local news where it's like how this person like the Tinder swindler, like stories like that. I'm so obsessed with just because I'm like, that shit like happens. It's like crazy where it's like, and people always like to make fun when you watch it. Of course, it's like, who falls for that? Or like, who joins a cult? I'm like, catch me on a bad day. And a man in a robe is like, do you want the answers to life and promise? And like, you get to wear like leggings every day. I'd be like, yeah. You know what I mean? So I can never judge someone for joining a cult. It's very tempting. But the Betches thing, actually, it all was kind of like intersecting where I was I got to start freelance writing for Marie Claire when I was at Hearst. And one of the editor-in-chief, who was also the host of the true crime podcast at the time, was like, saw my writing. I was like, oh, can you freelance write for Betches? Like stuff like this. It's really fun. So I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Cause I always loved Betches. And I was like, oh, I was getting paid to like freelance write. It was like really great. And then they posted that she was looking for a co-host for the podcast, which is so funny because the original co-host was moving and this was before the pandemic. So they were like, how could we ever do a remote podcast? Cut to 2020, cut to we're on Zoom right now. Like every podcast
Everybody.
is remote. Worked out for me. But I then auditioned. They were doing auditions. So I did like 3 rounds of auditioning for that. And they were between me and this really funny comedian, Casey Balsham. And they were like, oh, we like you both. Do you guys just want to be like a little trio? So we did it as a trio for a while. And then Casey left because she's like a touring stand-up comedian. So she was like very busy. And then it was just me and Sarah, and we just wrapped it up this year. But it was like a few years of a lot of fun and really elevating my hosting and just digital like presence in a way that I really appreciated at the time too.
Yeah. So after that, quite the resume being built there with that and everything else. And then talk to us, page 6. I mean, that had to be like a dream for you, being a writer, an editor, a host, doing your own podcast, virtual reality. So
Runs the show.
yeah, I mean, he's the boss over there at page 6, digitally.
I'll take that. I don't think HR might disagree with you, but I'll take that I'm the boss at page 6. But I know it was kind of like it came at a really great time for me because it was when I was like full-time at Hearst doing the Betches podcast and doing Sirius. So I was really just like running all around town, juggling all this different stuff, kind of getting like exhausted and being like, okay, this is hard, where it's like a lot of juggling and you're kind of just like, where is the thing that's kind of going to make my life a little bit more easier? Because also at this time too, I was doing stand-up at night, I was doing improv, doing all this stuff. So I was kind of just like really going at full speed everywhere. And then page 6 came along, and it was funny. They were just kind of looking for someone to help them with social media, which I came on for. But when I got there, and because I had all this other experience, is when I was able to bring to my boss, because they weren't really doing a ton of like video series and stuff in the reality space, which is funny because it's like such a space for that, or a place for that. And I was like, this is what I really want to do. I do it all these other places. I would love to do it here where I work. And they kind of were just like, oh yeah, let's test it out. So I started doing like some video recaps, and then my co-host Evan, he started working at page 6, and then we had just really good banter. And then we started just doing the podcast together that kind of really snowballed from this video series to a full podcast. And now we do live shows and everything like that. So it's kind of just been kind of crazy watching it grow over the past few years. And it's just been really just like a treat to do.
So I want to ask you about your comedy career for a second.
Yeah.
Right. Experience with live mics and stuff like that. Have you done live shows?
Yeah. So before the pandemic, I was doing me and one of my best friends, Michelle, who I met doing UCB improv.
I'm sorry, guys. I keep getting a spam call. I'm gonna answer it and see what this person
Oh my God,
wants.
please.
Let's see what they want. Hello? Yeah, why do you keep calling me? Who is this?
Who's this?
You're calling me. You're asking me who this is. Who are you?
Damn, I probably have the wrong number then.
Oh, I think
This is not why you're next?
this is who?
Huh?
This is not why you're next, right?
No, I think you have the wrong number. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, I send you my bill.
Hey, thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, I was like, why you sent who's this lady in the bathrobe with the knee pads? All right, no problem. All right.
Bro.
All right, take care. Yeah, take care. Bye.
Bro, thank you.
Wait, what was he sending you?
I got a text the other day of like this old lady like in a bathrobe with like knee pads and ice on, and I was like, "What is this?" And
Okay, you asked me for a photo to promote the podcast with, and that's what I sent you. I didn't know my knees read old lady. Okay, good to know.
And my phone was on Do Not Disturb, and that's the second time he overrode the Do Not Disturb in the podcast. So I said, I got to answer this question.
Wow. Okay, well that is, I mean, I guess you got some closure. I thought it was gonna be just like your insurance, like your car insurance or something like that. It was an actual person looking for something.
That was a first for us, Joe, on the podcast.
That was a first for us.
290 episodes.
Usually my spam calls are about loans and stuff.
Yeah, that was, I think that man looking, I feel like maybe you have like a number neighbor or whatever that's called who has the answer to his questions. But I don't know if he didn't sound like the old lady with the knee pads. I don't know.
No,
who
he
that
said
person is.
I said, oh, I was sending you pictures of my grandma. That's what he said.
Oh. Oh.
Oh boy.
Interesting.
Well, back to you, because that was pretty comedic what we're talking about.
That
I was gonna say that was pretty good comedy. Well, let's talk about the better comedy.
That's what there was a second. I was like, is this a planted phone? I'm like, am I now War of Roses or whatever's happening?
I thought he was like about to pull our leg, and like somebody was actually trying to call in.
That's what I was too.
He's done that once before. We surprised one of our reality TV guys.
Yeah, I don't know. Danny, you familiar with you watch Big Brother at all?
I here and there, yes.
Yeah,
I
so
do.
we had like these two guys, they were in like a bromance. And we had one of them on like originally when he got eliminated, Joe Pooch.
Okay.
And then, like a few months later, like we had Joe Abden on. He was dating Taylor Mack after the fact.
Yes.
And then I was like, what do you think about like everyone's talking about the bromance, you and Pooch? And I just started talking. I just popped up on the Zoom screen. And he was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I love that. That is okay. That is the production mind. I like that.
Many years of production.
Amen. But yeah, so before the pandemic, I was producing and hosting stand-up shows like at the Stand and Union Hall in Brooklyn and everything like that. And it was a lot of work that goes into it. And it was always kind of a thing where I started doing improv and stand-up because I was enjoying it, but also I wanted to back then have more like clips of me hosting and stuff, because there was kind of those things where I was like, before I was doing the Betches podcast and more serious, I was like, I wanted to have these opportunities to host, but there's not really like, and it was before like more there were more opportunities for that. So I was like, let me start doing stand-up and hosting shows, so I have clips of me showing people that I'm comfortable behind a mic and able to do these things and able to like draw some crowds here and there and everything like that. So it was kind of a means for that. And then kind of when the pandemic hit, I started doing more like digital online content and focusing a lot on my hosting that is like more media hosting. And I was kind of just like, because my friends who do stand up trying to make it more of their full-time thing, it's like on every night you're going like up 5 times a week. It's a grind. And then I'm like, wait, so you do all that and what's your hope? And it's like, oh, to tour. And I'm a homebody. At 9 p.m. I need to be on my couch watching my TV. And if I'm getting on a plane, it is not to tour. It is to go on vacation. So I was really just kind of thinking of where to prioritize my time because it's such a skill that requires so much of your time. And I was like, I'd be dedicating a lot to it with like a questionable payoff and not really honing in on what I want to be spending my time on. So it served me what I needed to serve it as, but then I kind of stepped away from it a little bit.
So what's it been like with the podcast to be able to do some of those live shows? Is that kind of scratches your itch there?
It scratches my itch of how much I love and hate being on like the production side of hosting a live show, because I feel like I'm just a catastrophizer. I don't know if either of you are, where I just always am like planning for what goes wrong.
Yeah.
And then if none of that happens, it's a great day where I'm like, all right, no one's going to show up. The lights aren't going to work. The mic's not going to work. And that was me like twice a month doing the live shows that I was doing for stand-up. So now with the podcast shows, thankfully, like there's more people helping out with it to help through it. But it really does. It makes it like a fun, it's scratch of doing the live stuff. And because it is more like conversational with the guests that we have and everything like that, it is where I feel more in my comfort zone and in my like fun for it. And then like you just get to have some of like the favorite people that I like to watch on TV also coming as the guest is perfect too.
Well, I don't know, Joe. This sounds like a good match. Maybe Danny should have us open for him. We'll bring out like your buddy Blake Hortzman. Maybe our friend Andrea Denver. Maybe I think the people will go crazy for him.
Oh,
there's some options there, Joe. Danny's taking notes.
I'm taking notes because oh my God, I love me some Andrea Denver. I feel everyone does.
He's such a nice guy too.
He is so nice. I've only met him once in like casting at a BravoCon, and it's just like you just get the Italian love and charm and everything from him coming off so well.
It's the Italian stallion. Well, a little teaser. Some
little teaser.
Talk is coming up here pretty soon.
Well, yeah, we've got to get to your next question first. But I do love me some Stan too. I love that place.
Yeah. Oh yes, it's a fun time. It's a really great venue because it is like a great mix of like
lounge
and club at the same time, because you go in, because I mean also kind of in the same way for like going to some like more like older school comedy clubs. There's like obviously like it's like the old guards and they have it how it operates and how it works.
You can legitimately go to the Stand and have a nice night out.
Yes,
because you can dine and you have the bar. And their rooms are just very, very nice, very comfortable in there.
You feel I think that's exactly. You just feel very like a comfortable level there. So I really did like doing shows there. It was fun.
You know, it's amazing. Shane Gillis is doing tours, right? And he's a couple $100 to see him. I saw him for $20 at the Stand last September.
Well, I mean, that's also whenever
it's such a lost art.
Yeah.
People don't realize you could still see your favorite comedians in an intimate setting for $20, 25, whatever it is.
Well, that's some of the perks of living in the New York area, because it's like when you get those people, because it's like them practicing all their stuff every night. Because it's like a touring comic like that, if he's doing stadium tours, he wants to always be refreshing it and keeping it up. So he's got to go to the Stand and stuff like that for on the cheap. Where it's the same where it's like you can lottery ticket a last minute show on Broadway for $20. And like my favorite is if there's like an artist I love at like an MSG or a Barclays, I just like sometimes I'll just like sit the 2 hours before the show because we live so close, and I'm like, okay, well this ticket was $250 on Thursday. It's Friday at 7. Now it's $50. So let me go have a great time.
Always have to try out new material. You got to see Danny Murphy at the Stand one day soon.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
So you talked before about having a digital footprint, right? So doing multiple things at once, you built that up. Talk about the role that social media, especially over the course of the last, like, we'll say 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
How has social media played a crucial role in your career success?
I feel it's played such a like pivotal role because just how much things have been pivoting to social media. And I feel something I would always like tell myself is like, it's like, just start doing the thing you want to do until other people will have you maybe do it for them, which that's where I was like, posting stuff on my Instagram and on social media when I had like 500 followers, and people would be like, who the fuck is this? Why are you just doing this for all like your friends in high school? And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. Like, because the thing is like, and I feel people who work in media kind of caught on to this beforehand, but like how Instagram isn't really, when you're in media, it's not a platform for like showing your friends what you had for lunch. It's like a resume now, because it's like so many times people don't, like, you send your resume and your cover letter and everything like that, but people are like, okay, let's see what you're about. And especially when you're in like, if you want to host, they expect you to like have hosting clips there. If you're in production, they want to see like, oh, they produced this, this, and this, and it all links together. So I feel it's really helped me carve out a more legitimate backbone in a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, and opens up to new opportunities, which also I like because it's a benefit. But at other times it does get annoying, because it's kind of that thing where uh when you're doing a lot of different stuff, like, and like for this, like setting up when you like, you want to make a podcast because you want to talk to people, setting up the interview, getting all the equipment, booking the guest, making sure everything's okay, doing all the editing, putting it out. And you're like, now I got to freaking put clips online and I have to post stuff in between it. So like the algorithm knows that there's like some fun stuff and you're a person. And it's like this constant circle game where you're like doing the job of 7 people for yourself for free for so much of it. And it just gets hard and exhausting. And then also it's the thing too, where I'm sure you all notice, where these, especially post like TikTok stuff, where like people popped off, which is great for them. But then a lot of these bigger networks and stuff, where it's like, cause something I'm always into is like red carpet coverage and stuff like that, where they'll have people that like became famous for like dancing on TikTok, which I can't dance. So shout out to them, doing like interviewing questions. And you see it starting to fall a little flat and awkward because they are just plopped into a place that's not totally the lane that would best serve them, because people are like, oh, it's a number, because it's so much stuff is like a numbers game now, which gets like daunting and frustrating. So it's just kind of like playing in that cycle always. So social media is like a blessing and a curse so much.
Absolutely. It's a lot of legwork, especially for a guy who can't dance, who like the Jersey Shore. You know, you go down the Jersey Shore, you gotta be a dancer.
Well, something tells me if you're tearing out the Belmar, you got some dance moves. You just might not be posting them.
I don't post them, but I do. You'd be right.
Y'all need a Patreon for that. Yeah.
You teased it before a little bit, so let's talk about some Bravo stuff, right? Have to ask. It's a good question. Are you team Melissa or are you team Teresa? Uh-oh.
I live in New Jersey. I don't need an attack at me.
He's gonna plead the fifth.
No,
he's getting away with it. I don't want to let him get away with it.
No, I'm team fun mess to resolution.
So he's getting away with it.
I kind of think, but hey, I'll give you full answers. I'll give you full answers. I love that I'm curious because they say this season they don't film it all together. So I'm curious how that works for them. Because my thing is, they might be in a good headspace for that. I wonder how viewers are going to respond to it, because for so long I've been enjoying watching the family feud go on. What I will tell you all is I've talked to Melissa more. Melissa's more open to doing things. So in terms of, she's done the live show, I've done a video at Envy, stuff like that. So Teresa, I've interviewed her less, have had fun times with Teresa, and me and her are both Tauruses, so I feel we connect on that level. But I have talked to Melissa more.
Well, I think we're both team Gorga, Joe, right? With our personal ties to Joe,
Yeah.
I think.
Yes, we do.
I saw you guys had a little Juicy Joe, or Joey J Tarzan on the podcast.
Yeah.
I love. They also
backstage at his comedy show.
Joey and I are good friends.
Their relationship too, I fucking love them, and I always say, because people, well, and I mean, I'm sure one of you guys are good friends. I don't know if you have felt the same way about him, because people always ask me like how everybody looks in person. He's handsome on the show. Like there's something like the charismatic nature of him in person.
He's incredibly animated.
Yes. And I'm like, why am I blushing in front of you? What's going on here? And Melissa is drop dead too, which is like, they're just such a hot couple together. And I'm just like,
but they balance each other out in a good way, because he's very warm, and Melissa, sometimes she has that reserved nature to her, but that's why they work together. And when they are together, they're very dynamic, you know, and I think the presence in the room, it's obvious.
Yes. And I think that's one of the things I like about Melissa too, is because she is kind of like, because you don't always put housewife and reserved in the same category, but she is very like that, like low key, can have fun type of nature. And I think when I like, and also because people always talk, I've never heard a bad thing said about her with a fan interaction, because people always love to say like, Oh, this person
Yeah.
was rude, XYZ.
Well, it depends on what podcast you're listening to,
Oh,
and
well,
who's being paid by Teresa and whatnot. But we won't talk about that,
oh,
right?
I mean, I have heard some things about that. I don't know about all the details of it, but I have heard.
Well, I've been hearing those things too. But what I will say is, I think New Jersey Housewives, I think that's the best Housewives because it's more relatable to a regular human being. There's family, you got the Northeast ties here. And I gotta say, I think On Display is by far the best song by any housewife. I mean, Luann's got some bangers, but like On Display is, I think, the best.
It's so good, but I will call you out that she has another song that I feel gets overlooked a lot that I feel is kind of, I like it more than, because I love On Display, but I just wanna another timeless Melissa Gorga hit. And whenever me and my co-host Evan interview her, we beg her to drop another banger. She refuses.
They sold the
But
house. The studio's gone.
the
That's
studio's
it.
gone. But hey, we're so close to so many other studios in the city.
Right. She's
I
got a
would love it.
podcast studio. I mean, I'm sure she could just record a song there.
That is so true. Her podcast is really fun too, which is great. I think her like she does the most bops. I gotta give, but I don't think she's no longer on Housewives. But Candace from Potomac, she's kind of just like the best singer because she kind of just released a full R&B
Congratulations to
album.
Candace and Chris Bassett.
Yes. Oh, I know. I'm excited for them. I'm sad she's not going to be on the show anymore, but I think it kind of makes sense with everything going on for her. But yeah, I do. Those Gorgas are a fun time, and they're always out in Hoboken. I'm like, I gotta fucking find them next time.
We've been out with Red Bank with them, right? Jeff? Red Bank is where we went. We saw.
Yeah, they're in Red Bank.
And we're in Princeton. You were with them the other time.
Oh
So.
Yes.
shit! Okay, y'all are up and down the Jersey.
Joe gets around.
I get around really well.
They call him Jersey Joe because he's always on the go. That's
Oh, okay. Good to
Like
know.
that.
But and Joe, listen, a few years ago, Joe went out to the Hamptons or Montauk. So, like I said, we're gonna talk Summer House here. Danny, I liked Winter House at first. Obviously, it had to be canceled because last season was the worst casting. I think Summer House is getting dangerously close to that point where they need to shake things up. Obviously, this summer we got to see like the same core cast. We got to see Carl Lindsay. But what do you think for the future of Summer House? I mean, they're getting up there in age. These people, are they going to shake up the cast? Because I think some of these people they cast, I'm like, why are they on the show? They had nothing to the show. I couldn't believe that some people called back for a second season.
I know. Well, you know what's funny? I mean, Winter House. I feel Winter House. The issue that happened with Winter House is that it was too many people who didn't totally know each other, which was fun.
Background.
Which kind of was a fun idea, but it just couldn't connect the dots. I honestly will say this is my favorite Summer House season in a few years.
Mm-hmm.
The past few have kind of not been giving me the most, but this season I feel everyone is clocked in because it's like the Lindsay Carl drama.
Yeah.
Paige and Amanda have never been more like out of bed.
Right.
Sierra and West, I think the new boys are really adding some needed flirtation because it's Summer House. I want to watch I want to watch these hot people flirt. So that's what's great. I'm curious what the future holds because it's one of those hard things where I can't imagine the show without Kyle.
Right.
But I don't know how much more Amanda wants to do it just from what we've been seeing on the show.
She wants to move to the suburbs. She's got to move to Cranford, New Jersey, start the family.
No, she wants to do more north. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Which I could see her being a Bergen County girl, which I'm like,
yeah. Well, listen, I think the best way to fix the show, if there is some fixing that has to be done for future, Andrea Denver's got to be full time. He's got to be on the show full time.
Full time.
If you really want to have
frontal.
some like crazy drama, bring back Hannah for a season. Throw her in there. I didn't really like Hannah. She wasn't my cup of tea, but I feel like the dynamic with the girls right now, it's so boring this season.
I love Hannah. I feel she is so burnt out or so not doing reality TV anymore.
Yeah.
But I kind of know what you mean because I love them adding two new boys in who are a little more flirty, but so many of the other people are in relationships. So I think they need some single nature going through it.
I could see them bringing Sam back because she's not in a relationship anymore. I think they didn't bring her back because they didn't want another couple in the house.
I know because that's what I was kind of shocked that she wasn't asked back.
Yeah, I can't believe Gabby was back. I mean, Joe, you don't watch the show, but this girl Gabby, if she finds out you're a certain sign, she won't even talk to you. And she wonders why she's single.
I know, but I do love astrology, so I can't get too mad at her.
Joe, I mean, you're the big astrology guy. You already beat us to the question. We usually ask every guest about their sign. But you
Uh-oh.
two are already there
Wait.
with the signs.
Joe, what are we working with?
For me, guess.
Guess Joe's
Ooh.
sign, man.
Ooh.
Are you
I
a
think-
Leo?
No,
Close.
Oh.
It's close. That was a close guess, though.
it was a good guess.
Virgo?
No, you went the other way.
Oh, are Gemini? No, Cancer?
Yeah, Cancer.
Cancer. Oh, so you're a little more emotional than you're letting on.
Yeah, I'm a moody, pretty, you know,
Okay.
He's very patriotic. 4th of July
I am very
birthday.
patriotic.
Oh, your birthday's on the 4th?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Nick is born on.
Memorial Day, May 25th.
Wow. Okay. What the fuck is this?
This is
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Patriotic Podcast.
Yeah.
Patriotic podcast.
But yours was at least a little bit better because school was still in session for you. But Joe, you always did you have
I
struggles?
never had a birthday in elementary school and middle
I was
school.
gonna
No.
say,
And Joe's birthday, just nobody cares. It's on the national holiday. It's like, oh, it's his birthday. We're not gonna have a birthday party. We're gonna have hot dogs, hamburgers, and some fireworks.
Can I
Yep.
tell you, I'm a vegetarian who hates fireworks. So if you ever have a birthday dinner, I'm there. I am there.
Thank you.
And I'll be bringing
I-
a cake. Yes.
All
I
right,
appreciate that.
it's
Thank
going
you.
down in Belmar this summer, I
Now-
guess.
How much into astrology are you? Do you know rising and
Oh,
What is my rising sign?
you kind of give me Scorpio a little bit.
What gave it away?
the eyes.
You being so because I'm a Scorpio rising too.
There
You
go.
being so like interrogative.
Yep,
Yes. Guess
that's
my
true.
sign. Like the little, yeah.
That was nasty. The
Yeah.
eyes.
Ooh, the eyes. Okay, yes, Scorpio eyes.
The eyes.
Yeah,
eyes
Joe's very
Chico, they
deep
give it away.
into that. Like the numbers that he sees, and all that. Like, that's
Would you
like-
use the Chani app?
No, I don't use any apps or anything like
Oh,
that.
okay. I love.
He just knows it all.
I just know
Wait.
it all.
Okay, and I'm not. I feel like moon is hard to guess, but what's your moon?
Me?
Yeah.
Virgo.
Okay, so I knew you had Virgo in you
Hmm.
because you were very okay. I know. Okay.
I'm very analytical.
Yes,
Very.
because that's what, and I feel like because that was coming out to me more, and I don't know a ton. I just know Cancer is like the more like emotional, like we'll tell you how to type of thing. But okay, because I do see Virgo and Scorpio a lot from you.
Good guesses.
It's good stuff. I mean, when Joe has another like person who's all into zodiacs and stuff,
Oh,
it could get pretty messy on the podcast. You can go steering like there's a fellow comedian. I don't know if you know her, Amanda Gale. She came on, and her and Joe started talking for like 20 minutes, and I just sat here. And I was
Because she's
like,
a Pisces.
oh,
Cancer, we love our dreamy little Pisces people.
that is very well connection. Yeah, I'm a Taurus, which I love being.
I love Taurus people, very grounded.
We're very grounded. I like my list to
Steady.
make sure everything's good. Yes.
Little stubborn.
Yes, I'm like a 2008 Toyota Camry. I'm reliable but stubborn. You gotta like turn a
That's
little bit
right,
more.
there you go.
Yeah,
That's
there
a
we
perfect
go.
comparison.
Yeah.
It's funny because we talk about this and we talk about me being a Scorpio rising, the black too, and it also fits.
It really does. And I love because I'm a Scorpio rising. I do love that for us because it is a very good. I feel like I relate a lot to like Scorpio nature, and I'm an Aquarius moon.
An Aquarius moon means you're very detached from your own emotions.
Oh, we can unpack that when we unpack no one going to your birthday.
There you go.
Well, let's transition back to Housewives real quick.
Okay,
So,
yes.
Danny, it looks like we're not going to see the latest Ultimate Girls Trip season because of some allegations. We'll say, behind the scenes, whatever. But maybe that means they're not going to do another season, which would suck. But if you could pick your ultimate cast, who would it be? And please do not tell me Dorinda Medley is in your cast for like the third straight season.
Because I only would want them to keep on doing like Roni Ultimate Girls Trip. You know what I mean? So I don't want any of
so
the
you
OG...
you want just the girl, the one they just did. This you don't want to do the original one anymore.
Yeah, because I feel that. Oh, I love the newbies. I love the newbies, but I feel like I wouldn't want any of the OG Ronis on other girls trips because like save them all for that.
Right.
Because I love Bryn Whitfield is so fun on the and Erin, and so I like.
Did they get her heel out of the escalator yet at BravoCon, or is it still stuck in?
I think she got her. It was a Louboutin. She got that out. But my ultimate girls trip, I'll throw Bryn.
Mhm.
I'm gonna put the Marge because I love Margaret Josephs.
Yeah, I'm surprised they never had her on one.
I am too. She's great. Who else do I want? Karen from Potomac would be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think who we're going with. Okay, so we have Marge who can start something, Bryn, Karen. Who else do I want? I want someone from Miami.
Gotta give you someone from Salt Lake.
Someone from Salt. Who would I want?
Monica or Lisa?
I'll do Lisa. I'll do Lisa just because
How about
Monica's not on
Mary?
anymore. Oh, Mary
She would just sit there.
she'd be on the wrong flight, and that'd be yeah. So Lisa, and then Adriana is very fun from Miami. Someone from BH. Sutton,
Okay.
and I want an Atlanta and an OC. Kenya's already done one. Portia, because she's no, Portia already did one. I'm taking this right. This is a series to me as astrological signs.
How about
Uh,
Nene?
which I don't know if Nini's ever gonna do a Bravo.
I heard she was
anything
coming
like
back to Atlanta.
I don't think so. That would surprise me. I don't think so.
Her and Bethany, things didn't work out together.
Yeah, no. And then I'll throw in Heather Dubrow
Yeah.
because she'll fly them all private, and we'll do Sheree
Okay.
as a fun little mix. Yes.
Pretty good. So
Yes.
I think what they should do is a Real House Husbands ultimate bro trip. And let me give you my thing.
Hit me.
Okay, so they're going to the Bahamas. They're staying at Joe Giudice's house. All right, now
Okay.
I already got your attention there. Joe Gorga's going. Okay, Louis going. Louis going.
And you're friends with Joe Gorga. You're making him do this.
I think he's great TV. We're gonna
He is
have.
a great TV.
We're gonna have Mauricio's gonna go as well because he's in the news. I got to get Mickey Darby in there. Michael Darby would be fantastic.
Oh God.
And I want Paul Nassif and Terry Dubrow because all these guys have all plastic surgery except for Joe. And I'm going to cap it off with a blast from the past, Rich Wakili.
Wow. Okay. That's a cast.
I just think the idea of going to the Bahamas with Joe Giudice is just like top notch.
I would love how confused Terry and his friend Dr. Nassif would be, because they'd be like, who are all these like beefy little Italian men screaming and fighting so red? They'd be like, is this rosacea? And they're like, no, we're just from Jersey. Like it would be and Michael Darby.
What did Teresa say? Louis he likes his steam shower or something.
Which I can't fault the man for that. I love a steam and I love a sauna. So if that's why I don't think that's why he's as red as he is. I don't know why he is, but I do like that. If that is one, if that's 20% of the reason why.
Well, I just think there's something there. They could do the guys trip. I think people might watch. We'll see.
And you know what? I feel if it's a full week, I could see the Joes having maybe a little bit of a I think they would fight for 3 of the days and maybe.
But you throw Louis in the mix. Forget about it.
I wonder who would team up with. I wonder, because I know Louis and Juicy Joe have like met and everything like that, but I don't care about that.
There's some drama there. We'll see. Well, I don't know if it's ever gonna come reality, but that's just my 2 cents.
I think you should tell Joe Gorga that to tell someone that, because I feel that would be very good.
I think he'd be
again. I don't know if your friend would want to do that.
I think if
he's
he's getting
do a
paid,
bro trip, that's
if he's
true.
getting paid, he's gonna be there.
That's true. That's true. I wonder. I feel like he would need a buddy for that though. And
Wow, there's so many. I went a little too heavy Jersey wise, but
you can't have his buddy be Michael Darby.
he might know Nassif or the bro.
That's true. I love those boys. I would fly there if I could afford plastic surgery. I would fly there and let them do their work.
Gotta get botched first. Speaking of botched, I mean, there's some housewives who really botch their fashion. So who do you think is the worst dressed, the worst fashioned housewife of all time?
I thought you were gonna ask me.
I'm not gonna talk plastic surgery. No, I'm gonna talk about the fashion.
I'm trying to think who's the worst standout. Because I hate that Giselle always gets a bad rap, because I don't think she dresses.
I'll tell you mine.
Okay.
I think Leah from Real Houses in New York has the worst fashion sense. She was wearing like those fishnet claws and stuff in the cutscenes, and she just always dresses poorly, I think.
It's funny. I get what you're saying. There's a part of her looks that I'm like, if I was like a blonde girl who had abs, I think I would dress like her. So I can't throw too much shade. It is very obnoxious and stuff. I feel who's the most like standout weirdest dresser for me? Miami dresses well.
Mary Cosby's got to be up there.
But the thing is, she dresses so, because what I think of a bad dresser is when they try to dress not like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
and
her.
Mary Cosby dresses so much like her. I feel all the Salt Lake ladies, they throw so much designer on all their stuff, which is like I get it because they're rich or they want to feel very rich, which is the best thing. Who is like my, I feel, I'm trying to think of who wore that like crazy jumpsuit lately, like the Mugler one, which I just fucking hate so much because it just like screams Yeasty Boys. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, how is that comfortable? So anybody who wears that next is my worst dressed.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn, Joe. Go ahead. You want to sneak something in?
Sorry, my
Yeah, I gotta
answers are all
sneak this
5
in.
minutes long.
No, it's great. It's great. Why do you think that Mia Thornton really left her husband Gordon?
I think they got to a point where she
Didn't make it work
realized,
anymore?
Nah, it's all about the money.
I was gonna say the and also now that when I realized when I talked to her and like that was her like high school boo.
Yeah.
You have those people that they try to get away from it. There's always that boomerang. I call it the boomerang because it goes back to it. And they're like, why now we're in a place where we can live the dreams that we wanted to do. Cause I feel probably in high school, she was like, I don't know what her aspirations were. She's like, I'm gonna be like the star with these cars. And he's like, I'm gonna be this big radio personality. And now they're doing it and they're doing it well. And I think Gordon has a lot of family shit going on that she probably was like, they were in the family business together, but when the business is not businessing, I think she was kind of like, let me let you. She's like, where it's like, I don't know. Because I know you're married. I don't know if you're both are married. It's like, well, that's your family. You know, when the in-laws are a little bit like
right. Joe, what's the name of that Kanye West and Jamie Foxx song? Yeah. Gold Digger.
Oh,
Gold Digger. I think Mia was all about the money. That's and then her like she's spinning. Oh, I had an inheritance, but it wasn't that much. I'm really paying the bills. Ugh.
That's why she is one of the funniest housewives because everything she says, I'm like, is this true? And even she'd be like, oh, I said that. Like she just kind of will just say things. And then people are like,
just
well, you
like
said you have an
circles.
inheritance. And then it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Like just remember, Teresa has 4 daughters, okay? So that if you know that and you know Mia has an inheritance, you're all set. All right, 2 more housewives questions, Joe, and we'll zip it up. Why does Dorinda Medley insist on saying she's on a pause? It's not a pause. It's done. The show is everybody. So like everybody else is off the show, but she's on pause. They're gonna throw in there, and she's gonna have brunch with Erin and Chelsea. No, she's not coming back. I think it's the permanent pause.
All I'm going to say is she's on play for my next live show on May 16th.
Oh, okay.
So pause. I think she's pressing play.
All right.
And I do think because you said Erin, her and Erin I'd be very interested to see how that would go down. I don't think they're ever going to mix the OGs with the newbies.
I think the only OGs that can get along with a new person would be Jenna Lyons because she should not be with the new class. I thought if they should have the only person that they should have brought from maybe the OGs to be the new class that would have made sense is Tinsley.
You don't understand how much I love Tinsley. I fucking love that girl.
I always thought that she moved to Chicago, they were going to launch a Real Housewives of Chicago around her, but they never did. They
never did because Scott didn't want to be on TV, and now he's a piece of shit.
Right.
And now she's married.
They're done now, right?
They're done. She's married to this like hotter, richer guy who has a kid. So she's like, because she always wanted to be a mom, so she really came out on top.
All right, there you go. All right, last thing here, and then we're done with Housewives talk. When will Kyle Richards and Morgan Wade go Instagram official with the hard launch post? Because we know that they're dating. We know that the reason that she's now with Marisa anymore is she's with Morgan. Why are they hiding this? How could they possibly do another season of Beverly Hills with her hiding this? Is like going to be nothing there.
I feel, well, first, why would you ever want her to announce that on Instagram when I have a podcast and you guys have a podcast?
Well, you might have a better shot of getting them on than me.
I don't know.
Morgan Wade will come on your podcast.
I don't think I don't know if you've read every Page 6 article. I don't think she will. I think it's also one of those things where like, and I feel like Kyle has even said it, she's going through like a midlife, like internal check-in thing where I feel none of us are in that age range yet, where I think she kind of, and I forget who said it, but it was like, she was a child star, got married, had all these kids, everything, flash forward, she's in her 50s, her kids are grown up, and she's like, who am I? So I feel she's kind of in like a, I don't know. I think like, I feel also think she's like, when I know who the fuck I am, I'll say it. But she's like, I think there's still a lot of like processing on her end. I'm assuming maybe that's the case. I don't really know, but I mean, would love to talk about it.
Truth will come out, of course. But
Yeah.
I will say that buying Beverly Hills, what a show. I mean, what a great season compared to the last season of Beverly Hills.
It's kind of crazy how much more they talked about everything on there. I just have to imagine Bravo was like, the fuck?
Yeah. Now, Joe, you're not too familiar with Kyle Richards and her family, but like her daughter, Alexia, I mean, you two be perfect together, but she's got a boyfriend. But
Wait,
I mean, Danny,
the
isn't
Richards, they
it,
break up a lot.
isn't it crazy? Like, if you close your eyes and listen to Alexia, you think you're hearing Kyle.
It's really insane. And those kids, they look, you can tell the looks from them and everything like it. Wait, is she the Bravo star you would set Joe up with, or is there someone else that you could see being more his type?
Oh boy.
I think she'd be good for
She's the
him.
one?
I don't know what her sign is though.
Oh,
I think she'd be a good match. Joe likes like
yeah, tell me what he likes and I'll try to set up some. I'll try to
All
set
right,
up
Joe. The number one thing
What
is
do I like? What do I like? Come on.
I know. I love that I'm asking him, not you.
Joe
What do I
hates
like?
blondes. Everybody else, if they have a pulse, he's good to go.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that. I'm a little.
I'm
stingy.
kidding. Joe likes brunettes and he likes Latinas. No, that's his favorites.
Okay.
You know,
We'll try to think of someone by July 3rd for you. So that
I'll
you can
say
have a
I'll
birthday
say.
kiss on the 4th. Yeah.
I like Middle Eastern women too, to be honest.
Dubai. Anybody from Dubai have a kid? No, not of age.
Oh, wait, honestly, Lisa Milan is 38 and gorgeous. She's married, but she is so stunning.
I think that's enough for Joe. With the married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Siri. No,
Let me think. Like Joe, he likes a lot of the Big Brother girls that come on, people from the challenge. Like,
wait, have you tried to slide in the DMs?
well, Joe, tell about the event you went to a few weeks ago with all these.
Oh yeah, no. So we had somebody on from the challenge from this past season that aired on Paramount Plus, and I met Jay Mitchell in person for the first time. And through Jay Mitchell, I met a couple of the other contestants who were on the show this season, and also stumbled into Gina Marie Zimmerman from season 15 of Big Brother, Staten Island, right?
Devin Simone, he's with.
Devin
Linda
Simone.
Collins.
Oh,
I mean, he was
shoot.
all the good ladies.
Wait, and a lot of cute ones, cute girls.
So Joe's theory is that
Oh, Lord.
once we make it big, everybody is going to regret turning him down in the past, which is probably true.
This is probably true. It's accurate, right?
That's fair. I think that is true. I feel, and that's a good, you'll have the last laugh.
Joe likes the redheads too.
Oh, okay.
So just no blondes. That's
Just no blondes.
I
You know
kind of
what?
feel that. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
First of all, like it feels like a blonde has never really been truly attracted to me, and I've never really been truly attracted
It's
to
not
a
written in
girl
the
with blonde
stars.
hair.
The signs
It's
don't
not
match.
written in the stars,
It's
right?
a Scorpio rising should not date a blonde. No, it's just
That
not
is
how
correct.
Yes.
That's
because I feel,
correct.
yeah.
If I was born about an hour and a half later and I was a Sagittarius rising, then I'd be into blondes.
Wait, honestly, there actually is something there because so many Sagittarius I know who are blonde. Yeah.
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 Astrology is real. It is accurate. Nick is still coming around to it. I'm kind of phasing him in a little bit, a little here, a little there.
While I'm thinking about it, she's used to dating Knicks players, but Joe and Bryn would be a good match.
Oh.
Because that's Joe's personality, is out there.
Wait, do you know what she looks like, Joe? She is like the most stunning woman on. She's so gorgeous.
I gotta send you a picture, Joe.
She's who I want. Like, she's someone where it's like, I'm like, can I have her life? Like, she just is like living a fabulous. She's kind of like a modern Carrie Bradshaw. Doesn't look like Carrie Bradshaw, but like model who's like smart and silly and flirty.
Joe, I just sent a great message to her. But it was actually funny, Danny. Like 2 weeks ago, the Knicks won a game, and she was at the game, and there was a big basket, and she's going, "Oh."
Yes.
They were showing her on TV. So Joe,
Wait,
she's a Knicks fan. She's a New Yorker.
Yeah,
Wait,
I need a girl who.
Take a look at her. Take a look at the Instagram message.
Oh, you need a girl who goes to the sports?
Oh, an Instagram message. Yeah, I need a girl who's going to sit behind the glass with me at Rangers games, sit courtside with me at Knicks games, behind home plate at Yankees
Kelly
games.
Ben
All
Simone.
those, all those pictures are going to be on page 6. You're going to get the exclusive stories.
Oh,
We're going to do interviews on the podcast.
wait, this could help all of us.
Right.
Could you imagine Joe with
Like,
the Countess?
Now.
Let's see.
Oh, wait, let's see.
She is a beautiful woman. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. Yep.
okay.
I could see what she was saying. She has that aura
Yeah.
to her.
We're gonna have to do a
Yes.
follow-up episode,
Wait, the
Danny. When we
aura,
come
yes.
on and we just show Joe pictures of like all these people from the Bravoverse and get his opinions.
Can I tell you? Please, done. Yeah. And I
All right,
love
we're
matchmaking
gonna
too,
make it
so we're
happen.
gonna add that. Yes.
Live show, Joe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Bryn is an Aquarius, so it go yeah. So I feel like you like she's like a fun like vibe. Yes.
I do like Aquarius. I see. I like. I don't have to be. I don't like water sign girls. I like earth sign girls, and I like Sagittarius girls, and because they're fun, fun,
Wait,
flighty, flirty.
I feel like girls must love going on dates with you that you talk about astrology.
I haven't been on a date in a long time, so
When was the last? I know this is now. When was the last date? What's happening?
well over a year ago.
What's happening, Nick?
They
What's
have a long
happening?
distance relationship.
I have a lot. Well, that girl
A
got
lot of
married
personal
eventually.
stuff going on.
That's
too.
a lot of personal stuff. I can't really clear any
Okay.
personal space until some things are taken care of.
And
But
also, it is the best thing. Don't date when you're not like in the headspace too, because you're never gonna have a fun
Right.
date. That's what I always say. Because like I go through ebbs and flows of it too, and it's like if I'm not in the mind to do it,
Yeah.
don't force myself to, because I'm gonna be like, I fucking hate this person.
But you know what I always thought, Danny? Like I thought that Joe, if he was on Summer House, I mean, he would be.
You would clean up.
They clean up, and like the crowd would love him. Like everyone's loving
Yes.
West, but you get Joe in there, like so his personality. I always said
And
Joe should go on Big Brother. He'd probably talk
Wait.
everybody's heads off, and he'd be a big star.
all
and
I would have to do is just
podcasts
lay
would blow up.
down, just cook, win
He
a couple
cooks. If you
competitions
could
here
clean,
and there, and I
your
win.
Summer House will love you.
Yeah,
That is
I-
true. If you cook and clean, done.
I can cook and clean. I actually keep very
Listen,
tight in space.
you know Danielle would be interested in Joe. He's not a balloon guy, but
Hey.
all right, Joe, you want to finish this up here?
Yeah, I was gonna
I mean,
say,
I could
this
talk
one-
about your types in dating for
What
2 more
happened?
hours,
So
but I
this
don't
is-
think
this is definitely one of the most fun episodes we ever had. All this
one of the
outside
longest
talk,
episodes, too,
the,
but it's all right. It's all
the
right. it's fine.
spam call that we got and Joe's relationship.
We better get 100 social clips out of this, because if we don't, I'm going to be disappointed.
I gotta get to editing. It's gonna take me a while.
All right, Danny, let's take you home here.
Okay.
Loaded question, but what is your favorite reality show ever?
Oh, fuck, ever.
Ever?
I am gonna say favorite housewife would have to be Real House of New Jersey, because it's the one that really got me into all
Yeah.
housewives from New Jersey. I just loved it, and I was like hooked ever since then. But like ever, and I guess it's kind of a reality show, and it's just on Peacock now, so I was rewatching it. Kathy Griffin's My Life on the D List is just so funny to me, because I'm like, that's just like a show I would also like want to do, because just her walking around like being like crazy and funny with all these celebrities and stuff like that. So that's definitely like, that's a show that got me into just like media and TV in general. But besides that, definitely Jersey. I love those ladies and gentlemen.
It's crazy. The guys bring a lot of the storylines. You know, Joe and Fuda, they're texting a lot, trying to get him on the show. But all this, I gotta get it cleared by Bravo police.
And I was gonna say I have watched the premiere of the new season, so I can't say anything because it's under embargo. But the guys make a splash again, and it's some more guys that.
Now, can you?
That's
What I
surprising.
heard is that the guys don't get paid for this show. Can you confirm or deny that?
I actually don't know.
All right. I remember saying that they don't get paid because there was something like, you know, Gia's getting paid, but then Joe's not getting paid. But like without Joe, I don't know where the show would be in the next 4 or 5 years.
That would like shock me, but because I always assume they do, but I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe because it's like you're married, like you know what I mean?
Your
It's
wife,
like,
right?
yeah, I don't know how that works, but damn, that'd be really crazy.
All right. Looking forward to how that plays out. Last thing here, Danny. In your life, your career, what would you say is your I'm right moment? What I mean by that, it's a time or place where you wanted to pursue something. You asked somebody for advice. They said, Danny, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. You're going to fail. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. And in the end, you will see why it is that I'm right.
Oh, you know what's funny? Going back all the way to when I started out at the radio station at FUV at Fordham, because because it is like a public affairs news station. It's very like more on the serious side, like I was saying. And I kept on whenever I would do news cuts, it's like I always was like just like more like bubbly, energetic, and everything. And like one of the directors there was like, this just really like it's not a fit for you. Like you don't have like the voice for it, you don't have the vibe for it, like you don't really have like a hosting chop for that. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, but all y'all are boring. So I'm glad I can go to work every day and prove them wrong.
Well, Danny, we appreciate your time. It was a lot of time.
A lot of
For
fun.
anybody who's going to watch this on YouTube, you were battling the sun almost the whole time. I caught it. You moved around a couple of times. You didn't think we were going to catch you.
No,
I caught it. You did a good job.
I almost paused to like close my curtain. And I was like, no, continuity. I don't want them to have to edit something that they don't have to edit because I know that's the most annoying thing. So I just did a lot of
Right.
sliding around my studio apartment.
And it is an excellent studio apartment, great backdrop.
you so
Battled the
much.
sun, you won. All I know is when Nick and I blow up and I'm famous and I
And
need
he's
to
on
start
page 6
leaking,
with all the housewives on his arms.
I'm leaking all the information directly to you.
Oh, I appreciate that. And I better be invited to your celebrity wedding too.
You are.
Okay, good.
Someday,
Someday it'll happen. It'll happen.
someday it'll happen. I have faith. I have faith. Nick has faith as well. Anyway, this was a lot of fun. We wish you the best of luck moving forward. When I told you before that I'll come see you at the stand, I'll come see you at the stand. We'll come hang out.
Oh, thanks so
And
much.
so what we do here is we always give our guests the last word. So it was a long episode. It was a great episode. If there's anything else you would like to share or personally promote for yourself, by all means, go ahead. We appreciate your time. And again, we wish you the best of luck with everything moving forward. It was fun.
Oh my God, thank you. Well, you guys are just the best and so much fun and so good at being like professionals, but fun, which is a very delicate dance that you guys do very, very well. It's summertime, but I mean, you should do this 365. Everyone wear your SPF. That's just my warning because I just went to the dermatologist and I got scolded about that. So I'm letting your listeners know that. And you could also follow me across social platforms at Cashmere Danny, Cashmere with a K. And Page 6 Virtual Reality Podcast is out every Thursday. Sometimes we do bonus interviews episodes and it's a fun time. So check me out there.
All right. This has been fantastic. Danny, this has been so much fun. If your co-host ever gets laryngitis and you need somebody to fill in, I'm here for you.
You know all the tea, yes.
I'm into it. I got to thank my wife for my gateway into the Bravoverse, just like you, Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Oh, God bless. I thought you were going to say your wife. And I was like, I don't have a wife, but
no, my wife, she made me watch Real Housewives of New Jersey, and I've been hooked ever since.
And now you're hooked on all the shows. God, see, that's the power.
Yeah, I watch other crazy shows. There's probably like Sister Wives. I'm just deep into it now. So
there's a new one, MILF Manor. It is insane. There's chaos everywhere.
Season 2, MILF Manor. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, you got to get him on the reality TV bandwagon more.
Yeah, Joe's into
I'm more of a competition show person.
Competition shows, Big Brother.
Scorpio Rising. That makes sense.
Everything else. But he watched yours is short too. But Danny, this has been so much fun. That's going to do it here for this episode of You Know I'm Right for our very special guest, Danny Murphy, from my co-host Joe Calabrese. I'm Nick Durst, and this has been You Know I'm Right.